Schefter, much like Indiana Jones, always gets his man and gets his stories. He broke the Matthew Stafford extension. He joins us now here on Sedano and Cap. Michael Trudell in for Scott Kaplan today. Before we get to football, take me to 1984, Adam Schefter. Where were you when Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom was released in this general area of time?
Junior in high school, getting ready to go on to college, having no idea what I do with my life, and being a huge Indiana Jones fan. That was awesome to see back in the day. Loved that movie. Loved going to the movies back then. I try to drag my wife to the movies every now and then. We usually go either Christmas Day or New Year's Day. Not easy to get to the movies now, and I found my attention span is not what it was in 1984. That's for sure.
Shefty, I'm with you wholeheartedly. I used to go, to your point, I would dedicate like once or twice a year to do it. I haven't even gone. I can't even tell you the last time I've been in a movie theater. It maybe to take my kids to see a movie like that. That's it. But for myself to enjoy, unfortunately, it's been a minute. And I do feel like certain movies deserve that experience. And speaking of deserved, I think Matthew Stafford certainly has deserved what he just received. As you very well know, there's been a lot of drama here when it comes to quarterbacks and contracts and things of that nature, including what transpired during the draft. I'm a big believer that the Rams have bought enough equity in this town that you should trust them, and I think this has all worked out swimmingly, I think, for them, especially now culminated in this contract. But what can you tell us about how all this came about with this particular contract extension, Adam?
Well, it's a pretty simple deal to do, right? Like, you have the reigning NFL MVP. He should be rewarded for that. Not only that, but they go out and draft his replacement, and you want to send a message while you're drafting somebody to take his spot that we still love you, want you, and appreciate you. So between that and him winning the MVP, it's very simple to just essentially put money into the second year of that deal to where he'll be on a year-to-year basis. And maybe this is his last year, but the contract certainly sets up for him to play at the minimum 2 years before that contract is either addressed again or he decides to walk.
And Adam, I just wonder sort of what the league perspective is on, and George and I were comparing this, of course, obviously, to the Packers situation a few years ago, Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Like, when a team is in contention, and right now I think their odds are just ahead of the Ravens and the Seahawks for the Super Bowl. Like, when you take a player that can't contribute and then something comes up along at that part of the season where, oh, yeah, maybe could have used another offensive lineman, maybe could have used a defensive tackle. What is the feeling of the league around a move like that?
Well, I think that these kind of quarterback situations, it's a little bit like buying insurance. You don't love to spend the money on it, but then all of a sudden, if there's an issue, and when the time comes, you're really glad to have it. And they're in a situation now where they have, in their eyes, set up the quarterback position for the future. Now, Matthew Stafford very well, by the indications of yesterday's deal, played 2 more years. So they have 2 years to begin to get Ty Simpson up to speed, groom him, get him ready, not rush him along. And, yeah, you don't love having to use a first-round pick on a quarterback that you're going to be grooming for the next couple of years potentially, but the payoff in 28 could be enormous. You could just have a succession plan, and if he's what they think he is, then you're going to be really happy. You bring up the Packers and Jordan Love. Like, I don't think the Green Bay Packers loved having to take a quarterback, but they loved, once they traded Aaron Rodgers, to just be able to insert a quarterback that they had been training and grooming for that position all along.
Adam Schefter, ESPN Sr, NFL Insider, and, of course, host of the Adam Schefter podcast. Make sure you find that wherever you find your podcast. Adam, how does this, and maybe it doesn't, but how does this situation now tie into Puka Nakua and his potential extension? What do we know about Nakua's situation?
Yeah, I don't think that that's relevant here. I think that's its own situation. You're talking about one of the best wide receivers in all of football. Now, again, I think when you're talking about the kind of money that he could and should and will be making, you want to make sure that everything is lined up, on field, off the field. And obviously there have been some issues that have sprouted up this offseason. I think they want to make sure. I would think that they'll look to address that, and we'll see what they do with that. But look, at some point in time, I would think they're going to extend Puka Nakua.
Adam, is there anything that you're just from a Rams perspective here locally? Is there anything roster wise that feels like still needs to be done? George made the point earlier, like they got their cornerback they were looking for. They seem like they've added depth in relative positions. Like if they are going to make a run, is there still a spot that you feel like could hold them back?
I think they've had a strong offseason. I think they've addressed their needs. I think the Rams or any other team is always looking, but here we are in late May, and it's not like you have surefire replacements out there that can upgrade your roster. We'll see how that works out. If they're going to add something, I don't think they have any glaring, obvious needs at this point in time, in my mind. So they'll always be looking, but I think they are as well set up right now as any team in the league.
Adam, one last one for you, and thank you for the time. There's been some smoke and linking them to A.J. Brown. What do you make of the A.J. Brown situation?
They had an opportunity to move in that direction in March. For whatever reason, they decided that they were better off allocating their resources, money, picks, other things in other directions. If they wanted to make that move, they would have made it in March. They did not. I do not expect that they'll be making that move now.
Excellent stuff. Adam Schefter, ESPN NFL Senior Insider, host of the Adam Schefter podcast. Shefty, thanks for the time, man. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Have a happy Memorial Day.